So hi everybody and welcome back to Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 145 and in this video I want repeat faster base class because I forgot to show you how you can reparent for example an already created blueprint class. And you want to reparent it because this blueprint class probably you already filled with functionality, with variables, and now it's really bloated up. It's very big, like my character, for example. Let me show you what I mean with that. I go to my character. This is my player character here. I open this one up and you can see this player character I put in already many demonstration functionality in. I have here millions of variables and different kind of functions and so on. And the problem with this player character, I was very, let's say I wanted very work fast. I don't cleaned up. I put many things in. And when I check now my player character, you can see I go here to this player character, right click on it. I go to size map and we get a shock because my player character alone is 131 megabytes. Of course, normally you would clean up here first, but let's say you want to make more performance with casting, because we talked in our last video, in several videos about casting, interfaces and dispatchers and all this kind of stuff. But in the last video especially we talked about base classes and you learned that we can cast to a base class. Let me open this one up. And you can see here, this was this one example which I all the time used. Here is a box. I walk into this box with my character and then this trigger box is triggering and then I can make here an action, right? Most time I turned here the light on, off, or I destroyed here one of these stones or crosses or whatever. And now the problem is my class, like I showed you, is so I have already a class which is filled with millions of functionality, and like I showed you, it is now too big. And now how I can use this base class trick to get more performance? For example, here we talked already about casting. This one will cast now to this BP Infinitive Warrior, and this one will load all this kind of things what you have in it, which are 131 megabyte in memory, and probably you don't want this because you want to get a little bit more performance. And the answer is, of course, we make a base class, and like I said in my last video, here on the top on the right side we have here an info. It says here parent class actor, and we can change this when you go here to the file and reparent blueprint. And of course you can do this after you messed up like me too. For example, not with this one here. I would reparent this blueprint class of my character, for example. I messed here up. And here in this case I want cast to this character. So with other words, instead of casting to this character, what I would do is I create a base class for my character, then I reparent this character here to this base class, which means this character, my player character, becomes a child of my base class. And here in this trigger box where I am now, I cast not to my child, I cast to my base. And let's do this and then I show you how this works. First of all, like I said, I want to replace this parent class where I messed up. So I go to my character section. I'm already in. I make right click. I go to blueprints and here is this character section. I click character because character is still our parent. And now I call this BP base character. That's it. Then I open this up and do nothing here. I just compile, save, and I keep it. That's it what I needed to do, because this base class should do nothing in my case. Of course, you could do here other things as well, but in my case, it is just for casting purposes here. All right. with that said, I made my base character. Now what I have to do is say, okay, you are my base character. Now I want this character which I messed up. You should be the child of this base character. How I do this? I open up my character. Like I said, we have here the parent class right now character. I changed this now to this created base class. And how I change this, you go here to file, you go here to reparent blueprint, and now you find the newly created base class BP character in my case. Of course, if I write it right. Where is it? BP character, base character, right? This was the base. I called it base, right? Let me see. I called it base character, yes. All right, that was the base character. And now after you reparent this your player character here on the right side, parent class is now this BP character. And then compile, save, like all time. Save it. And here, instead of casting now to my expensive character, I replace this one. And now I can cast here to my base character. BP base character. And this one I use only for casting, so it's not expensive. And this one, this base character, let's see how big this one is. You can see when we compare now these two characters, here, first the base character, right click on it, size map, okay. I have here around 23 kilobytes to use, and when I compare it to my Infinity Warrior size map, I will use here memory 131 megabytes because I messed up this here a little bit. And yeah, and this casting, we learned this also. I hope you watched the other videos. This casting says you make a hard reference to this base character. It is only one reference, but we can see it. Let's make a right click, browse to asset here and make here size map first. And you see my size map is very, very little now. And the reason for that is this big chunk, which was my character, is gone. It's still big because I have here other parts which take also a little bit, but compared to this character, it's nothing, right? We have now here, let's go to memory. We have now here 139 kilobytes. This is literally nothing. This is absolute nice performance compared. Let's compare it to our normal. Let's compare it to our normal cast when I would cast it directly to my child character again. It was called now BP Infinity Warrior. This is my player character, by the way. When I cast it directly to this one, look now what I have here. So I compile this one. I go here, right click, size map, and you see I have here all this chunk again. 131.9 megabytes loaded in memory. Performance is down. It went down, right? It's crap. And you can see that's still this base class casting works even after you already created a class, a blueprint class. You can just reparent it and it's done. You have a very good performant casting system, I would say. So if you want cast instead of using the other techniques which I showed you so far. And I just want to show you this one as well. I forgot to mention this one in the last video. I mean, I mentioned it, but I have not showed it. And this is very valuable, I think. So not that you think you can't make it afterwards. So you have to start directly with base classes. No, you can even create base classes after you have already created blueprints. And that's a very nice feature, I think, because after you rework, you can get very much performance also with this technique after you already created. Yes, like I said, I would not recreate this one again just because I messed up at start. But of course I would clean up this here This was anyway just for demonstration purposes. And so with that said, I think I can stop here. And in the next video, like I said, I want to talk a little bit about this component system, because this and you should read a little bit at once, because this component system, this actually not component system, because the component system in general is very big. I want to talk special about this actor component system, which means we are adding components to actors, and this actor component systems need dispatcher. I hope you watched or understand what a dispatcher, event dispatcher is, because they need this system to interact a little bit with the actor to make it, yeah, easier. And perhaps not, depends on the setup, but normally you should need it. And it would be nice if you watch this before I start to talk about this component system, because I will not repeat it there. That takes too much time to explain our dispatcher again. Anyway, with that said, I hope this base class demonstration helped, because the good info is you can make it afterwards as well. For example, if you are profiling and say, oh my god, we need here more performance, yes, this will still work afterwards. All right, with that said, if you have any question, any complaints, like all time, write it in the comments, and see you in the next video with the component system. And yeah, bye.